Kenny Demore over here at HTM Sports. Just tapping in with y'all. This is our early morning coffee talk. And this time we're gonna be talking about playoff scenarios for the Dallas Cowboys going forward. A lot of favorable stuff happened for the Dallas Cowboys yesterday in terms of playoff seeding, playoff scenarios, things going that line. So, there are a lot of things to get into, a lot of things to talk about. So, we'll just do it like that. So as of right now, the Dallas Cowboys are in the number 5 seed in the NFC playoff picture. Now, we really don't have to do anything to stay there. Whether we win or lose this game, we'll still be the 5 seed. We can't fall past the 5 seed, but we have a chance to move up. And those are the scenarios right there that we really want to get into, talk about. So the Dallas Cowboys can move up to the 2 seed, well, with a loss by the Philadelphia Eagles and us winning our game against the Washington Commanders, who, by the way, have already been eliminated from playoff contention. So the Commanders have nothing to play for outside of wanting to beat the Dallas Cowboys. And like, we win that game, the Eagles lose their game, we're the number 2 seed. But it's not even that simple, because we can't move to the 1 seed. That's where some of these playoff scenarios get convoluted. Because if you're the 2 seed, there's 3 different teams you could possibly face. If we're stuck in the 5 seed, we're going to face Tampa. We get to the 1 seed, we'll get the only bye in the NFC. So we're just going to break down those scenarios in full detail. So for the 5 seed, we already have claimed. We don't have to do anything. If you're fine staying at the 5 seed and you feel like you can beat Tampa, that's the matchup you prefer. Rest your players. You don't have to win this game. Just go out there, get your players healthy. If you want to play at the 5 seed and go to Tampa, then you don't have to do anything. Just stay put, and you'll be the 5 seed. Losing doesn't affect you. You can't fall to the 6 or the 7. If you want the 5 seed, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to move up to the 2 seed, these are the 2 things that have to happen. The Philadelphia Eagles have to lose their games to the New York Football Giants, and the Dallas Cowboys have to win their game against the Washington Commanders. Now, the Giants have already clinched, so they have nothing to play for outside of wanting to keep momentum. Now, the beautiful thing about it, Brian Dable has already said he wants to play his players. He's not thinking about risking players. So, that's our opportunity. If the Giants can somehow go in there and beat the Philadelphia Eagles at home, then the NFC East division title is up for granted. We'll get at least one home playoff game. And we won't get a bye, but we'll at least get to the 2 seed. So with the 2 seed, if we were to get there, there are actually 3 teams we could possibly play. If we are able to get the 2 seed, we will not get a first. We will not get a bye, because they changed it when they added the extra playoff team. Only one team from each conference gets a bye. So if we are able to make it to the 2 seed, our possible opponents are the Green Bay Packers, who will have to come to Dallas, the Detroit Lions, who also have to come to Dallas, and the Seattle Seahawks. So those are the 3 teams that we could host in the second at the 2 seed if we're able to get there. And these are the scenarios for them to get in, because that 7 seed is not going to be determined until next week. So the Packers, if they win their matchup against Detroit, they will be the 7 seed. If we make to the 2 seed, that's who we'll play. They will have to come to Dallas. In order for the Detroit Lions to get in, they would have to beat the Packers, and then the Seattle Seahawks would have to lose. And for the Seahawks, they would have to lose. Well, they would have to win. I'm sorry, they would have to win their game against the Rams, and then the Green Bay Packers will also have to lose. So the easiest, most likely scenario is that the Packers are going to be the 7 seed, because they're the ones that that don't need no outside help. So, like, statistically, odds are the 7 seed is going to be the Green Bay Packers. Now, there's still a chance these other scenarios can happen. Like hell, being honest, Detroit has already beaten Green Bay once this year. So like, that's not set in stone. But those are some of those possible scenarios when it comes to facing. Now, if we're being honest, I don't want to play Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs. I know that we have a win over Aaron Rodgers compared to Tom Brady, but we haven't beaten Aaron Rodgers in 7 years. Our last win against Aaron Rodgers was the 2016 season when Dak Prescott was a rookie quarterback. We went to Green Bay and we beat them by double digits. But since then, Aaron Rodgers has beaten us in the playoffs. In 2016, that same year, he beat us in the playoffs, 34-31. The following year, he beat us in Dallas. The next year, he beat us, not the next year, 2019, he beat us in Dallas. This year, he beat us in Green Bay. So Aaron Rodgers, he had his way with us so far. Not gonna lie about that. Then you can go back further to when Tony Romo was the quarterback. The Dez Carter game. No, Aaron Rodgers, even Aaron Rodgers was hobbled that game and still found a way to beat us. So there's not really a matchup I want. A quarterback that is playing pretty well right now. Has a good running game to support him. We seen the development of his rookie receivers, like Christian Watson. That boy got off on us, but he leads all rookie receivers in touchdowns now. He has 7 on the year. So that game against us is what got Christian Watson right. He's developing into a legitimate deep threat right now. And with our injuries in the secondary, I don't know if we really want to see that team. Because matchups make fights. We do not match up well against the Green Bay Packers. Like, yes, their run defense is still a little bit suspect, but they're back to running the ball. We have a worse run defense than them. They ran all over us that game. They ran for over 200 yards against us. So the Green Bay Packers is not a team that I really want to see. Now the Seahawks, we match up much better against the Seahawks. We match up much better against the Detroit Lions. Like we beat Detroit handily, and I do realize that Detroit is a better team now because they got their best receiver back in Amon St. Brown, and then they first round pick Jameson Williamson. He's back, contributing to that offense. So like they're a better team, but we still match up better against them than we do the Green Bay Packers. Same thing with Seattle. Seattle has one of the worst defenses in football. So that's a great coaching job they're doing over there just to be in position to be a playoff team. But the Green Bay Packers are not a team I really want to play. Can we beat them? I believe we can. We did have a 14-point lead over them at home. But Aaron Rodgers, who is a guy who has a lot of playoff experience, has won multiple MVPs, who has had a lot of success. Matter of fact, the one Super Bowl he did win was in Dallas, in our stadium. He's comfortable playing in Dallas. So under that scenario, I'm not gonna lie. I probably would want to play Tom Brady, who has not played that well. He played one great game. The last game that he just played was Tom Brady's best game of the entire year. And when we played Tom Brady, we had good success against him. The reason we lost the first game of the season, we did not have an offensive identity set up. We did not try to actively run the ball against them. Dak Prescott had one of the worst games of his career, and we only scored 3 points. Then Dak Prescott left that game with a thumb injury. And even with all that, we held them to 19 points. It was only a 16-point game. There were plenty of times and plenty of opportunities that we had to get back into that game, and then their defense is a little bit more suspect. Like their corners, their defense has regressed. They've taken injuries on both sides of the ball. So like I trust our chances against Tom Brady, who is not a mobile quarterback at all, behind a suspect offensive line against our pass rush. We were able to harass Tom Brady that first game. Like Tom Brady just made 1 or 2 key plays in that game. But outside of that, we pretty much held them in check. So if it came down to getting the 2 seed and playing Aaron Rodgers, or having the 5 seed and playing Tom Brady, the team we match up better against is actually the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If we're being honest. If our offense was playing the way that we were playing right now, week 1, we would have easily won that game. They would have still had their 19 points. We would have dropped our usual 30 or 27 points, and we would have left that game with a W. So I like our matchup against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers better. But it really all about who gets in, all these scenarios. Now, if the Eagles handle their business and they win, this is a mute point. But it's hard, man. It's hard for me to see the Eagles actually winning this game. If we're being honest, if they run Jalen Hurts out there, even if he is feeling better, he's not going to be 100%. He's been out of football for 2 weeks. They're going to try and protect him from taking another hit because he got injured scrambling. A large individual fell on Jalen Hurts on his shoulder, and that's how he sustained his injury. So it raises a lot of questions. Will they still be aggressive with Jalen Hurts in their play calling? Are they still going to call the quarterback sweeps, the quarterback draws, the QB powers, the read options? Is that going to be a staple in their offense this game? Is he going to be able to throw the ball accurately down the field with an AC joint injury? Those are a lot of questions. So there is a real good possibility that they will not be able to win this game. So it's going to be up to Dallas to decide what route they want to take. Do they care enough about the 2 seed? When is the game's going to be played? If the Eagles play before us, if they're a morning game and we're an afternoon or an evening game, we'll know before we even play if we have opportunity to get up and see them. So those are a bunch of questions we need to be asking, looking into, and analyzing. And then the ability to 1 seed. In order to get the 1 seed, the San Francisco 49ers will have to lose to Arizona. The Philadelphia Eagles will also have to lose to the Giants, and then we also have to win our game. So that's the one scenario that requires the most outside help in order to ascertain. All this stuff is possible. We just seen the 49ers struggle with the Raiders. The Raiders have not been playing good football. They had a backup quarterback, and they threw for a bunch of yardage, had a bunch of offensive production, scored 30-plus points on them, took the game to overtime. So, that is, it's not outside of the realm possibility for them to lose that game. I don't expect it, but, it is still a good possibility. So, we'll just have to see. I don't know if we'll be able to get the 1 seed, but, it is worth trying to play our guys to do so. If the possibility is still out there, we definitely should play our guys. We definitely should try and get the better seeding. Because think about it. We worry about Green Bay. What if Green Bay loses? They don't handle business. If Green Bay loses their game, we're either going to play the Seattle Seahawks with Geno Smith, who has no playoff experience, or we're going to play the Detroit Lions with Jared Goff. He does have playoff experience, but their coach does not. This is their coach's first time in the playoffs. It's going to be a roster of young players. It's going to be a team we've already beaten by double digits. So you should always let's be honest. Even with Green Bay, we had them what we wanted them to. So I know what I said about Aaron Rodgers earlier, about that team not being a great matchup. But man, you got to feel better about your chances at home sometimes, man. So I don't know. I'm really torn at it. I'm really torn about it because at one instance, I don't want to play Aaron Rodgers. On the next instance though, we're 8-1 in Dallas this year. Our only loss this season in Dallas was the first game of the season. We have not lost in Dallas since in 5 months going on. Even in 5 months, it was September. It's January now. We ain't lost in Dallas since September. So you got to feel good about your chances at home. But the X's and O's still throw me off. I don't like our matchup with that team. So I'm still divided on that. What y'all think about it? First round of the playoffs, who would y'all rather play? Tampa Bay, Green Bay Packers, Detroit Lions, or Seattle Seahawks? Which team do y'all prefer playing first round? I want y'all to answer that in the comment box. Also, share the content. See if we get some more people in, get some more questions, get some more interactions. See we have us a good show this morning. Which team do y'all prefer playing? No, I think I would probably prefer Seattle. I think we match up best against that team. I know they still got good outside weapons like DK Metcalf and Lockett, but they're so inconsistent up front on that offensive line. You know, Geno Smith has no playoff experience, even though he's a veteran quarterback. They probably will have the worst defense in the playoffs that they got in. I like our chances to get that team. You know what I'm saying? I like our chances against that team. But what y'all think? Who would y'all prefer playing against? Let's see. Let me check the comments. Check overlay. No comments. Okay. Mhm. I appreciate you too, Tommy. Appreciate you too. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. So like once we know more, you know, of course I'll go into the X's and O's. The damn, I hate that dryer. Sorry about that, y'all. But yeah, once we get some more information, I'll go over the seasons. I'll go over what they do best, the analytics, the numbers. Well, hell, why wait? I might as well look now. They all done played 16 games. You know who a team is right now, right? So let's do that then. Let's look at the numbers on each of these teams. Let's start with Seattle. NFL defense rankings. Y'all know when I get to tapping on this computer, I'm looking up stats. So bear with me. I'm going to look and see what's going on with these teams. All right. So the passing defenses. All right. Let's take a look. So the Packers are the fourth worst passing defense in football. Let's see. Yep, that's correct. I didn't expect that. But yeah, the Packers are the fourth worst passing defense in football. They've allowed 3,130. Hold on. No, they're the fourth best. I'm sorry, I read that wrong. Okay, so the Detroit Lions are actually the third worst passing defense in football. They've allowed 3,991 yards in the air this year. They've allowed 25 passing touchdowns, 7.5 yards per passing attempt, and a 63% completion percentage when targeted through the air. So that's for the Detroit Lions, who are one of our possible playoff matchups. They're not good against the pass. Let's see. I might as well do this for all the playoff teams, right? So San Francisco 49ers. They are, let's see, 32nd, 31st, 30th, 32nd, 31st, 30th, 29th, 28th, 27th, 26th, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21. All right, so the 49ers are the 20th best passing defense in football. They've allowed 3,595 yards through the air, a 65.2 completion percentage when targeted, 6.4 attempts in the air, 19 touchdowns, but they also have gotten their hands on 17 interceptions. So that is something to be mindful of. Seattle, they're a couple spots below them. This is the team I was looking for. They are the 18th passing defense in football, 3,472 yards of offense through the air allowed, 6.7 yards of completion, 63.3 completion percentage when targeted in the air, 23 touchdowns allowed in the air, 13 interceptions on the year. So let's see. The Buccaneers have allowed 27 passing touchdowns, 3,253 yards, 6 yards on attempt, 63.9 yards of completion, and they've gotten 10 interceptions on the year. So let's see. So we already been through Seattle, we've been through Detroit, Green Bay, and Tampa. So that's all four of our possible ones. Let's see. Nope. Yeah, Green Bay has the fourth best, 31 thing. Yeah. So yeah, those are all four of those. But let's look at that run defense. So that's really what I want to see. Honestly, whoever has the worst of the run defense is who I want to play. 'Cause that's our bread and butter. That's what we do the best. That's who I want to. That's who I want to play. All right. So according to this, Seattle has the third worst run defense in football, and the Detroit Lions have the fourth worst run defense in football. So those are the two I want to play. Green Bay ain't that much better than them. We're being honest. So all three of these teams we're talking about can get in at that seventh spot. They're bad against the run. So let's see. Yeah, Seahawks are the 30th ranked. The Detroit Lions are the 29th ranked, and the Green Bay Packers are the 26th ranked against the run. So all these teams are bottom run defenses. And when you think about what Dallas have been doing to win these games, I know the rushing attack has taken a hit since Terrence Steele's been gone. But like we got two guys that are close to 1,000 yards rushing. We got almost 2,000 yards of offense for your running backs alone. So you look at Tony Pollard, who was probably going to be 1,000-yard rusher. You look at Ezekiel Elliott, who would have probably been 1,000-yard rusher if he hadn't missed time. You look at our offensive line and what we do best is run blocking. So I would love to go up against a team first round of the playoffs where we can exploit their weaknesses against the run, and we can establish what we do the best. And once you're able to run the ball real good like that, they're crowding the box. They got 8 men, 9 men in the box. That way you can take the deep shots down the field to CD Lamb and T.Y. Hilton and things like that. So that's what I spoke on yesterday. I want us to get into a matchup where we can get Dak Prescott feeling good going forward. So he doesn't have to go out and win the game for us and throw the ball 40 times. Throw for 5 touchdowns just to be in the game. You know what I'm saying? Converting third and longs just to be in the game. I want us to make this an easy game for Dak Prescott. I want us to be able to go up against a team that we can run the ball against and get 5 yards, 4 yards, 6 yards when we put the ball on the running back belly. So I want to play a team that when we're operating from second and short. We're operating from where we're hardly in a third down situation. Those are the kind of games we can control and win going away. So all three of these teams actually give us a chance to do that. Now I actually look at the numbers in front of me. So we're just going by pure numbers. Like the Seahawks are the worst run defense we could possibly play in the playoffs. So that's the team I want to play against. So that's the team. And look, they've allowed 20 rushing touchdowns on the year. They've allowed 20 rushing touchdowns. They allowed 4.8 yards to carry. They've allowed 2,408 yards on the year. No, they've allowed 124 rushes of rushes for first downs. So this is a team we can run on. I like that. Give me a team in the first round we can bully on. We can worry about all these other juggernauts once we get further into it. And if we're being honest, there really aren't juggernauts in the playoffs this year. Yeah, hey Neil, I am loving what Ty is bringing. He's bringing that downfield threat, and OBJ, that's a guy that's not even healthy right now. But I think they did right for our offense bringing T.Y. Hilton in. It's like even last game he didn't catch a ball down the field, but he caught a ball short and took it up the field for 20 yards. That gap is something that we really don't have outside of a guy like Tony Pollard. Like T.Y. Hilton, I don't think he can still run a 4.3, but when he's on that field, he still got elite game speed. And that's all that matters. He got good game speed. Tony Pollard has good game speed. So I like that too. But yeah, man, I want to play somebody we can bully first round. I don't want to go in, have to play the game of my life, just to win and get to the divisional round. Let us play a team we can bully. We can bully all three of these guys. So I think, I take it back. I take it back. I do want us to play and get that 2 seed. Because if we get the 2 seed, it's not even about Aaron Rodgers. It's not about Aaron Rodgers. We can run on the Green Bay Packers defense. We just got away from that in the last game. We definitely can run against them, at AT&T Stadium. We definitely can get Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott going. You know what I'm saying? We definitely can exploit that. And like that's the way you can beat Aaron Rodgers though. If you keep Aaron Rodgers on the sideline, you're having 7 minute scoring drives, 8 minute scoring drives. You can beat Aaron Rodgers. You're like Aaron Rodgers can't beat you if he's not on the field with the ball in his hand. So I take it back. Looking at their rushing defense, that being the strength of our offense, I would love to play Green Bay, Detroit, or Seattle. But just going by the pure numbers, Seattle is the worst run defense we could possibly play. Let's play them. Let's play them. Because look, if we end up having to go and play Tampa Bay, like they're not the same run defense that they were before. They're middle of the pack, but they still got Vita Vea. They still got a good run stuffing linebackers. They still have a defense that goes downhill. It still might be an issue running against them. Yes, Kellen Moore has to stick with the run in the playoffs. Yeah, we have no choice, man. That's what we do the best. Like when we listen, and this is not a knock on Dak Prescott. I think he's a top 10 quarterback. I think he's a great quarterback. I think he's very underrated by the media because we're being honest. I think he's playing at a top 5 level, even though he has interceptions. But the best way to win a game is for your offense to be on the field majority of the game. You control the clock, you score. Because remember, if you're on the field and you're not scoring points, you're not putting any pressure on that other team. So yeah, long scoring drives. I'm not even gonna say clock control. Long scoring drives because you have to put up points for this to work. Because you have the ball for 7 minutes, you're forced to kick a field goal, you miss the field goal, and then they get the ball, they score a touchdown in 2 minutes or less. Then like you're winning time possession, but you're not winning the game. So long scoring drives, running the ball once we get a lead, keeping that opposing team off the field, winning the turnover battle. That's how you can beat any team, no matter who the quarterback is, no matter that. That's really what the New York Giants did when they beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl. 18-0 team. They ran the ball. They made enough plays downfield. They kept Tom Brady on the sideline looking crazy. And that's how they were able to win. They didn't score 100 points or anything like that. They played good defense. They ran the ball, kept Tom Brady off the field, and they were able to come away with that win. That's how underdog win, and we're a real good team. So like if we feel like Tampa Bay might have an advantage offensively with their quarterback, you resolve the problem by not letting him get on the field. Like you reduce the number of times you actually have to play against Aaron Rodgers. The Eagles are trash without Jalen Hurts. We already knew he was the team. DC Pharrell. Yeah, and that's why I'm not as hard on Jalen Hurts as some people are. I think he's a good quarterback. I don't think he's the league MVP now. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that the league MVP should have went to Mahomes anyway, because Mahomes was gonna have more touchdowns, more production. He's gonna lead the league in passing yards and passing touchdowns. I feel like Mahomes should have won that anyway. But yeah, yeah, Jalen Hurts is a good player, but Jalen Hurts probably won't be as effective as he was come off an injury. He got hurt running. They were playing a second place schedule, but like it's the NFL, man. Like you got to beat guys. So I'm not even mad at it. They had a second place schedule. We had a first place. You know, us winning the division with a first place schedule will mean more to me. You know what I'm saying? Than them winning theirs. But it is what it is. Well, let's see. But yeah, man. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, yeah, man. That's how you beat any offense though. You keep them off the field. So that if you're scoring points, you're shortening the game. You're controlling the clock. You're not giving them extra chances by turning the ball over. What they gonna do? Nothing but look sad on the sidelines, huffing and puffing, screaming at each other. So yeah. So like now that I actually look at that, we can beat them. We can beat them. There's a path to victory. Because listen though, we played a bunch of good teams and we won most of them. Because look, there are guys that can get into the playoffs right now that we lost to. But outside of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, there's not a team that is certain to be in the playoffs yet that we lost to. We lost to Philadelphia with a backup quarterback, but we also beat Philadelphia. The Vikings are the number 3 seed right now. We beat the brakes off them. The Giants have already clinched. We swept them. You know what I'm saying? Like the number 4 seed in AFC is going to either come down to the Jaguars, who we scored 34 points on, or the Tennessee Titans, who we beat, albeit with they were playing backups, but still we won that game. So like who have we not beaten? Who have we not beaten? Outside of teams that we have not played. And then like, hey, what I just seen from the San Francisco 49ers, we can beat that team. They're not the same team that put us out last year. We're not the same team that got put out last year. So you know what? I think we can. If the Dallas Cowboys put it like this, if the Dallas Cowboys play their brand of football, running the ball 35 times, taking your shots for play action, Dak Prescott being efficient, then we can beat any team. We can still get our sacks, pressure quarterback, get our turnovers. We can beat any team. Coaching is what wins football games all day. Yeah, you are definitely right about that. Coaching is what's going to win or lose these games for us. So hey, if we come out and throw the ball 40 times and we lose, that's on Kellen Moore. Because all the analytics said we don't need to be doing that. We have one of the worst graded pass blocking lines in football. We were the 32nd or 31st ranked offensive line in pass block win percentage. You can look that up. Before we got T.Y. Hilton, every wide receiver not named CeeDee Lamb was in the bottom tier of separation. So like everything said we shouldn't be throwing the ball 40 times. Everything says we shouldn't be throwing the ball 40 times. The fact that Dak Prescott has been able to throw for the most touchdowns in football since week 7 is a testament to how good of a player that Dak Prescott is, and not really know how good of an offensive coordinator Kellen Moore is. If we're being honest. If we're being honest about that, that is a testament to Dak Prescott. But think about it. We were the 26th ranked offense without Dak Prescott. We can score. We cannot score with guys. Our defense had to play out of their mind just for us to win by 3 points most of the time. So I don't know. We gonna have to just pray about it. We're gonna have to trust Kellen Moore to stick with the winning formula. Because look, we have a 16 game sample size. Up to a couple years ago, 16 games with the entire season. If you ended a season 12-4, a couple years ago, you were damn near guaranteed to be the number 1 seed. Like that doesn't happen. Like 12-4, 12-5. Like these are, and look, we have a chance to win 13 games for the first time since 2016. So like we've had a great year, and we won these games by running the ball. Dak Prescott being efficient with the ball, throwing touchdowns. Defense holding up, being one of the best units in football. And we've been able to win with this formula. There is no reason when you're playing, you're at the end of the line, you're in the tournament, you've been preparing all year, winning games, doing it the exact same way all year to get into the playoffs, then get away from it. That should be a fireable offensive. If that's what happens. If we lose any of these playoff games because Kellen Moore is pass happy, and we don't establish the run game against teams that we are able to run on. Because listen, even the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they are not like a top 3, top 5 run defense anymore. They're a football team we can run on. The only team in the playoffs in the NFC that have a stout run defense is the damn 49ers. And there's no way we can play them in the first round of the playoffs. So there is no reason that we go out here, first week of the season, first week of the playoffs, and don't run the ball at least 35, 40 times. Like every team we play against is acceptable to the run to the extent we can run on them and exert our will and do the thing we want to do from an offensive standpoint. So if we come out here and we do the opposite, that should be a fireable offense. If we come out, we throw the ball 40 times and we lose against teams that can't stop the run. Kellen Moore needs to be gone. And look, he's done a lot of good things. He's developed more as an OC this year, but you can't do that. You can't be the reason that your team's going home because you don't want to run the ball against teams that are susceptible to it. All right, let's see what else. What else y'all want to talk about? What else y'all want to talk about? Put your questions and concerns in the comment box. I'll answer. This show's for y'all, man. I just like waking up talking football. Nothing too hot and heavy. We can talk about football. What y'all feel? Who y'all prefer? Our defense needs to stop the run, especially in the playoffs. Well, this is a thing. The Dallas Cowboys have seen that we have been prone to giving up large amounts of yardage in the run game all year, and they have not did anything about it. We had a chance to add Roquan Smith. We did not do so. Dante Hightower, who is a Super Bowl winning linebacker, we had chances to add him all season. We did not do so. There's other linebackers available that are good against the run. Anthony Hitchens, who used to play for us, who won a Super Bowl with the Kansas City Chiefs, is available, and is a better run, is a good run stopping linebacker. We did not bring him in. We had chances at Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh. We did not bring them in. We did bring in Hankins, who got injured. He should be back for the playoffs. But the Dallas Cowboys have not done enough to actually address that deficiency right there. So, they can try to stop the run with the guys that they got. Hopefully they're a little bit better once LVE and Hankins are healthy again. But even when they were healthy, we weren't really good against the run. So, we need to stop the run, but sometimes you don't have the horses to do so. So what you can do, to make teams not run against you, it'll put them in positions they're not comfortable running against you. If you were able to score quickly, if you were able to get a big enough lead against teams, and you've been able to control the clock, they're not going to be able to run the ball the way they want to against you. They're not, especially if you're running the ball. If you're up 14 points, you're running the ball. They score, they cut it down to 7, but they had to run themselves to cut their deficit. So they took 5-6 minutes to cut their deficit to a 7-point game. If you go down there, even if you only get a field goal, but you also took 7 or 8 minutes to do that, it's gonna be that's a lot of damn time to come off the clock. It's still gonna be a 2-possession game. They're not gonna be able to next drive out to take their time and run the damn ball and get back into their game. So if you were able to control the clock, get up higher, get up enough scores on a team, you could force them out of running. You may not be able to physically stop them from running the ball, but you can force them out of running by turning the clock against them. So that would be one of the better ways. And listen, we have games where we were able to stop the run for quarters. We've had games we were able to stop the runs for a half. It wasn't something we were able to do for a full game. So if we're able to get up, if we're able to stop the run early, and we're able to get up, we're able to get them off the field, we're able to score, get these multi-possession leads, then they will force their hands out of the running game. And we have a great pass defense. Even with the injuries in the secondary, we have a great pass defense. We get our hands on a lot of balls. We got a great pass rush. No, I like our chances. There hasn't been a single team that just dropped back, threw the ball all around the yard and beat us. Excuse me. That ain't how we lose. We lose when the team runs us off the field. The 49ers quarterback luck is going to run out soon. I saw at least 4 passes he just threw up for grabs. Yeah, especially that last throw to IU to get them into field goal range before the overtime. Yeah, that ball really should have been intercepted if the defensive backs had their eyes on the ball. I don't know how they couldn't track it. But yeah, like listen, he is a 7th round pick. He is Mr. Irrelevant. They are getting as much as they humanly can from him. If we're being honest, there's a great coaching job they are doing with Brock Purdy. 7th round pick, last pick in the draft, Mr. Irrelevant. They're winning games with him. Not always pretty, but you're getting the most production out of that boy as you humanly can, and that's great coaching. That's a guy that knows how to run the offense. I always show love to Kyle Shanahan because there's a great offensive mind. So I never have anything bad to say about Kyle Shanahan, the offensive mind, the coordinator. Now, he as a head coach, sometimes he makes some questionable decisions, but that no, that's every head coach. Like players have bad games, so the coaches. But I do agree with you. Down the line, Brock Purdy is going to cost him in the playoffs. He's going to throw one. He's going to throw one pass he shouldn't attempt because he's a rookie, because he's a 7th rounder, and it might come back and bite them in the ass. So we'll see. If we end up playing them, I hope it happens against us. But we will see. Let's see. That's facts, Henny. Yeah, run defense needs to coaching what win. Eagles gonna have to play Hurst next if he's ready or not. Yeah, they're gonna have to play him because they've seen what Gardner Minshew does for them. Gardner Minshew right now has more interception than no, I take that back. Gardner Minshew has thrown for just as many interceptions as he has touchdowns. That's hard to win. It's hard to win with, especially against a good team. And then like he doesn't have the fluke. He's not having the fluke interceptions like Dak Prescott is. He threw the ball and hit Marshawn Lattimore in the belly with it. He has some other questionable throws that probably should have been picked off as well. And hell, let's be real. Like he had a guy wide open in the game against us and airmailed the ball. So instead of going up 3-0 against us to start the game, they had a walk-in touchdown and he just missed. Like game over, but now we can be real about that. He just missed a wide open guy. I'm glad he did, but but yeah, they're really not a juggernaut team though, man. They're not a juggernaut team this year in the playoffs. That's why I really want us to compete. That's why I really want us to get a favorable matchup first round. Because once we get to the second round of the playoffs, anything is possible at that point. I know people say getting in, but if we can get in with a favorable matchup, we're able to get that momentum, get the confidence in our quarterback, get the confidence in our system and our play calling, get that first win under our belt to propel us into the playoffs. Anything can happen. Anything. Because you've seen us, we beat the Eagles, even though it was with Gardner Minshew. We still put up 40 against that defense. You can't take that away. We still put up 40 against the Eagles. We blew out the Vikings. All right, we beat the Giants. We were up 14 against the Packers, even though we lost that game. Like it took a 4th and 7 conversion, and some boneheaded play calling for us to lose that game. It took a lot of stuff for us to lose that game that we were in full control of. Tampa Bay, that's the only really bad loss we had this year, and that was the very first game of the season before we got our shit together. So like I feel very confident in our team going forward right now. Let's see. Any other questions? Drop them in the comment box. Let's talk. Let's talk turkey. Let's see. Questions, comments, anything. No, don't look like it. I'm gonna give y'all a little bit more time. Y'all ain't got nothing else to add. We'll jump off here. I'll come back a little bit later on. Might reach out to West Coast or Bishop or Landlord, see they want to do a show later on. Talk a little bit of football, get their opinions on some of this stuff. If not, man, I appreciate y'all for coming in and hollering at me this early in the morning while I have a coffee. So like I said, I'll be back later on. Talk to y'all. Get some other folks' opinions on how they feel about it. How we found CB2. No, but listen, I'm gonna say this about this. We really haven't, but it's gonna have to be okay because Deron Bland is playing very good football at the slot. Trayvon Diggs for most of the season has played at an all-pro level. So like we may not get cornerback two figured out, but there are things we can do to get around it. And listen, we just need CB2 not to give up touchdowns. Because Nation Wright was getting his ass tore up last game against the Titans. But you know what? He did not give up a touchdown, and he got his hands on the ball, got a turnover. I can live with that. I can live with you giving up yardage. I just can't live with you giving up the big play for the touchdown. So look, and they targeted him a lot. He got targeted 10 times. He gave us 7 receptions. He gave up 105 yards, but he did not give up a touchdown. He had a couple passes defended, and he got an interception. Compared to what Kelvin Joseph was doing, when Kelvin Joseph gave up 2 touchdowns in one game, and not even really one game, he gave up 2 touchdowns in like a quarter and got benched. So yeah, no, I can live with not having yeah, I can live with not having 3 elite cornerbacks. But you know what? I just can't live with them giving up touchdowns. Them giving up touchdowns is gonna be the issue. They can give up a play here and there. No, it happens. The receiver knows the route. The pass rush doesn't always get home. You're on an island. Shit happens. Like they done got Trayvon Diggs plenty of times this year. They done got Deron Bland plenty of times this year. But just do your best to not give up the big play and do your best not to give up the touchdown. We can live with everything else. We can live with everything else. Nation Wright yes, they were picking on my boy. He led your team in tackles because they were attacking him. But when you look at it, man, he's the odd man out. You got Trayvon Diggs, who's an all-pro corner. You got Deron Bland, who got 5 interceptions on the year. So like, if you don't really want to throw the ball to Deron Bland, like he may give up a play, but he is more likely to take the ball away. He had 5 touchdowns. He had 5 interceptions on the year. I think he's only given up 3 touchdowns. So he's more than likely to get an interception than he is to give up a touchdown. So teams don't want to target Deron Bland. Trayvon Diggs, the man just had 11 interceptions last year. You do not want to throw the ball in Trayvon Diggs' area unless you got a play designed to take advantage of his aggressiveness. So like they would like sometimes they'll design a play to get him single covered on the receiver that they want to put a double move on. But outside of that, like he been having a damn good year in coverage. He really should have had a pick six last game. Things like that is why whoever it is, whether it be Kevin Joseph, maybe LaShawn Wright, might be the Mullen boy, whoever's going to play that cornerback two position is going to get a lot of targets. Even when Anthony Brown was cornerback two, when Anthony Brown first got hurt, he was the second most targeted player in football. He was the second most targeted player in football because they were refusing to throw the ball at Trayvon Diggs. So like when you're attacked that much, no matter how good of a cornerback you are, I expect you to give up plays, but I also expect you to make enough plays to keep us in the game. You know what I mean? So like, and I'm cool with that. Like they threw the ball at him 10 times, he didn't give up a single touchdown. and he got his hand on the ball. For a guy that hasn't played a lot of football, I'm proud of that. I'm proud of Nation Wright's performance. So I don't know if he can sustain that level of play and be cornerback two going forward. But when you actually just look at it, from from that perspective, barely played, called into action on short notice because we had to bench this other guy we had more faith in. I like the performance. Can he be better? Of course, but he ain't had a lot of snaps, so hopefully his inexperience doesn't come back and bite us. So that's pretty much it with that, man. Because there's nothing else we can do. Especially now, we're probably not gonna get a bye. Like there's no time to bring anybody else to get them acclimated in. Now, to be honest with you, I wanted us to kick the tires on Desmond Trufant, who played last year, but that was early in the season. That's who I wanted us to bring in instead of Mullen. And I'm not saying Mullen can't be serviceable if he's called upon, but I like Desmond Trufant. He played in the Super Bowl, former Pro Bowler. Not the guy he used to be, but he used to play with Dan Quinn's system. He know where to be, how to be, know the verbiage. So that's the guy that I wanted to bring in earlier. But can't cry with spilled milk now. On a good point, Kelvin Joseph has been a disappointment to me. I thought he was going to be a stud. Listen, you're not the only one that thought he was going to be a stud. Because think about this. Dan Quinn got Kelvin Joseph over Asante Samuel Jr. And Asante Samuel Jr. had been balling. Kelvin Joseph had been regulated to a special teams player. So we could have had Asante Samuel Jr., Trayvon Diggs, and DeRon Bland right now. But instead, we chose Kelvin Joseph over him. Despite the fact that there's a bunch of red flags surrounding Kelvin Joseph before we got him. Despite the fact that Asante Samuel Jr. has a pedigree, because his dad was a great cornerback. So we'll see what happens in the playoffs. But I still listen. It's not really all about the secondary either. If our pass rush can start back getting to the quarterback, I welcome a team trying to throw against us, because all our cornerbacks will be better if they get a consistent pass rush. DeRon Bland will be better. LaShawn Wright will be better. Trayvon Diggs will be better. Hell, Mullins will play fine if we can get our pass rush back to pressuring the quarterback. If you remember, before the Tennessee game, we only had 1 sack in 3 weeks. So that's really the bigger issue than the secondary. We're just pointing out stuff that's going on with the team in terms of the pass defense, things we can do to improve the pass defense. Because listen, you can play perfect coverage, but eventually that wide receiver is going to get open if that quarterback does not have to get rid of the ball. If the quarterback is able to hold the ball, you're going to be able to get open eventually. So like a play has to end within like 3 to 4 seconds. We're honest. A play needs to be over within 3 to 4 seconds. There is no way a cornerback can stay with a receiver 5-6 seconds into a play. If a guy is able to pat the damn ball, somebody's getting open. Because listen, they may play the initial route that the receiver run perfectly, but it's the play that they make getting back to the quarterback. It's the play that they make scrambling upfield once that route ends to try to get over for that quarterback. If you don't get a quarterback on the ground, it doesn't matter how good your coverage is. Like, you're gonna get toe up, and that's really part of the issue too. Because listen, we really weren't talking a lot about our cornerbacks earlier in the season. Like, yeah, Anthony Brown gave a play here and there. Jordan Lewis gave up a play here and there. Trayvon Diggs gave up that big play in the Rams game. But they weren't consistently getting toasted until the pass rush disappeared. So until we get the pass rush back in action, then it doesn't really matter who our cornerbacks are. Receivers are going to get open, and receivers are going to make plays. Action Pal, what's good with you, man? I appreciate you coming in, tapping in with me. Like and share the content for me, please. Let's get some more people in here and talk to us. So yeah, that's the bigger thing. And I really can't. And even with that about the pass rush, I really can't put my hand on it. Well, I really can, if we're being honest. Look how we lose games. We lose games not by a team dropping back and passing on us. Really, what they doing to slow down our pass rush is pretty ingenious. We're bad against the run, so what they're doing, they're running the ball. They're getting into second and short, third and short, not obvious passing downs, and like they're utilizing play action. They're using quick game. They're doing a lot of different things to try to neutralize our pass rush. And you know what? That is smart football to do so. So like I can partially see why, but we the other side of that is too though. When we are in obvious passing situations, they still aren't winning. Maybe it's because they're tired. Maybe because they're tired from defending the run so much. Maybe they're not as quick to get off because they don't know the play action is coming. I don't know. I really don't know. But it's combination. It's combination of both probably. You got to think about it. Michael Parsons has been a little banged up. Your best pass rusher has been a little banged up. He's been a little second since he clocked a sack. I don't think he had a sack since the Jacksonville game. Then you look at DeMarcus Lawrence. It's a long season. He's an older player, probably wearing down a little bit. So it happens, man. But we got in the playoffs. We got to get back. We have to find a way to get more pressure on the quarterback. Maybe we have to blitz more, but we have to get pressure on the quarterback. Because listen, we can have 3 Trayvon Diggs out there. If we don't get pressure on the quarterback, if they're able to run around, they in scramble drill situations, they're able to get these chunk plays because they've been taken down in 4 seconds, 3 seconds. They still got the ball in their hand. It's gonna be a long day. So yeah, that's more concerning than the actual secondary. Because that's more concerning because there's really not one particular reason why your pass rush disappeared, and that is concerning. And then if it is if and then if the pass rush has disappeared because the teams are running the ball on us more, they're getting out of your passing downs, there's nothing we can really do about that. Even when we get Leighton Benderis back, even when we get Hankins back, we aren't a good run stopping defense. So we have to find ways around it. But yeah, you gotta help the cornerbacks out. I expect more from Michael Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence than I do from Nation Wright. So I need them to get the quarterbacks on the ground. And I can live with whatever Nation Wright gives me. He like my third or fourth option any damn way. Whatever Nation Wright gives me is icing on top of the cake. All right, any other questions? So, y'all got some good ass questions. I want to keep this going for a little bit longer. Y'all feel like bearing in, sitting in with me as I ramble on, and drink my damn coffee. Let's see. Any other questions? Feel free. Go ahead, type away. All right, let the team tackle. Have we found QB2? No. Questions. Let's see. No. I'll give y'all about another 60 seconds or so. If we get any more questions, we're gonna shut the stream down. And then I can be back with y'all a little bit later. So let's see. But yeah, man. I do appreciate y'all for coming in. I think we had a pretty productive talk, good show. I think I was able to convey pretty well what the hell's going on with the playoff season. If you have any further questions, I'm pretty sure I'll be live on somebody's channel later on or on my own. So I'm pretty sure I'll be back later on to talk some more football. So, hey, I appreciate y'all for coming in, tapping in. I'll get at y'all later. Peace.